Hello, Aquarius, and welcome. I'm Adriana. I'm a soul guidance coach who helps sensitive, self-reflective souls choose growth and transformation. I've got an intuitive message for you today about your spiritual journey. This is an inside-outside reading that will look at your inner world, your outer world, and the relationship between the two. I also want to do something special for you to commemorate and kind of prepare you for the new moon. So stick around to the end, I'll do a little something extra. So let's get started. Okay, we have High Priestess, Justice, Four of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, my guides are saying to start on the inside. Now I believe we had the Four of Cups in your reading last week, if I'm remembering correctly. But let's see what the message is today. So we have the theme of objectivity, and I want to say the word indifference for you going on. That you're really trying your best to look at a situation without getting emotional about it and without kind of taking your emotions into account. You're trying to stay very level-headed and very fair and very balanced. Now, the thing is though, Aquarius, I feel like your message right now is a little bit of the opposite. Put your emotions on the scale. Instead of leaving them out of the equation, bring them into the equation for you. Because there is information in your emotions for you. You know, emotions are tricky things, especially for some signs worse than others. And I've seen it with Aquariuses where emotions feel messy because they're not contained or they can't be explained, or they feel messy. And there are Aquariuses that just refuse to go to their emotions because it's just too messy to go there. But you have the benefit, Aquarius, of always understanding objectivity. That is something that comes very natural to you, that you can detach from them and say, okay, wait a second, what are you saying? So it could be easier for you to navigate your emotions. But what's happening is that there's a tendency to want to cut them out. And when you do that, you miss crucial bits of information. So emotions are they don't talk to us in literally the way they make us feel, but they do signal some kind of distress or dysfunction or disharmony in why they're there. It's almost like they're a distress signal. So let me see if I can explain this a little clearer. When an alarm goes off, you know, rather than reacting to the sound and saying, oh my God, that sounds so horrible, get me out of here, ugh! We want to ask, well, what is it? You know, is this a fire alarm? Is this a hurricane? Is this something else? Are they just testing sirens? We want to ask, why is this going off? So when you feel an emotion, sadness, anger, happiness, joy, whatever, it's not so much that you're feeling it or that you're experiencing it, it's why is that? Classic example, a lot of times when we feel angry, it's because our boundaries are being stepped on. Someone is going to a place where we're not feeling respected, or we haven't been strong enough in the past about standing up. Sadness can often be a fear of loss. I'm distracted because there's a yellow butterfly out the window. So it's a nice little visitor we have there. So it's important that you don't just discard your emotions as being frivolous or silly or weak, that you actually say, okay, but there's a component of information in here that I really need to be okay with, that I need to include in my calculation, in my estimation or evaluation of the situation. This is very academic feeling. Because justice for me, especially with this card, we've got the owl, we've got this royal purple, she is wisdom. And it is not wise to ignore part of the situation, a part of it's not wise to ignore some information and pay attention to others. You know, then you have a half-baked or a half-formed concept of what you're dealing with. Wisdom looks at everything. It doesn't always believe everything, or it doesn't treat all the information the same, but it looks at everything. Okay, now let's look at your outside world. Because these two cards, all the cards with me, Aquarius, they're jarring each other. The inside world and the outside world, they're all jarring. And so I am feeling this feeling of conflict in general in the inside and outside world with you. But let's get a handle. Okay, they're saying to look at all the cards at the same time. Okay, I see. If you continue to not really pay attention to your emotions, you're going to feed your energy into a situation or a circumstance that just keeps playing out in the same way over and over and over. You find yourself in the same situation with a different person, or maybe the same situation with the same person, but you can't seem to get out of a rut. This is a hamster wheel kind of energy where you're around and around and around. And it's because you're not paying attention to that emotional component, which is trying to give you energy, it's trying to give you information. When you ignore that, again, you're being stuck in doing. Our Eight of Pentacles is a doing card, doing the same thing over and over and over. If you allow yourself to receive the full information, and this is a very interesting card, the High Priestess. She's one of my favorite cards in the deck. So that aside, we've got many of the elements represented here. She's got water behind her. She's got the sky, which is air. She has the earth, what she's standing on. And there are some dragons. So that would be the fire element on her robes. And I just noticed this the other day. She's got stars on her clothing, and there are also stars in the sky. So she's that connection between heaven and earth. That bridge between the outer energies that are there to benefit us and our inner kind of practical world. When you allow yourself to receive the full picture, all the elements, the emotional water, the fire action, the thoughts of air, the groundedness of earth, when you get all of that information, then you truly have everything you need to make that decision, to make a clear judgment, and to make a fair judgment and a fair assessment. Without the full picture, you don't have all the evidence, you don't have everything with you. Okay, we're going to end that there, but let's check out what your message is for the new moon. We're looking at what you're releasing as well as what you're embracing. Six of Wands. So this is the theme of leadership. We are releasing the need to be, it's kind of a funny paradox. It's releasing the need to be a leader, to be seen as a leader, and instead just being a leader. And you're like, Adriana, what the heck? What did you just say? So this has to do with how other people see you versus just what you are and how you are and what you do. The Six of Pentacles wants to be recognized. He has a certain status within the community. He's sitting up on the horse, whereas these people are walking. So he wants to be seen as special. He wants to be seen as a leader. And what this is asking you to do is release that need and instead just embody leadership. Don't worry about how other people see you. Just be a leader. Just do what you know to be right. Do what you know is in the best interest for everyone, and demonstrate leadership rather than command a title. Okay, it's interesting because your opposite on the zodiac wheel is Leo, which is the quintessential leader. And so this is interesting because you're being asked to release your opposite and then to also accept your the truth of who you are. If you happen to have an Aquarius rising and you're watching this, Leo would be your descendant and that would be your shadow side. So this would very much go in line with that you're releasing the descendant in order to own the ascendant. Okay, interesting. Aquarius, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me today. I would love to invite you to check out soulguidancewithadriana.com if you're ready to dive deeper. I just updated it with new photos of beautiful water lilies, lotuses that I took myself. They are not stock photos. So I'd love to hear what you think, and please reach out if you're ready to take that next step. So I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one.